Many college students are struggling financially because of COVID. Tonight, students talk about how they're getting by.
Trojans facing housing and food insecurity can get help. We'll show you some of the resources available.
And are you ready to test your social media smarts? You won't want to miss tonight's game of Hashtagged. See It Live starts now. College enrollment is down and dropout rates across the country are on the rise. Good evening, I'm Camber Guest reporting from Los Angeles.
I'm Brett Chody, also reporting from LA. This trend can be seen nationwide, but especially with low-income students and in community colleges. College enrollment is down because of COVID. New studies show 16 million American students canceled college plans this fall. Overall, freshman enrollment has dropped more than 16% from last year. Enrollment has declined almost 23% in community colleges. We talked with 3 USC students who are either taking classes at community college or taking a leave of absence.
I had these preconceptions about what it would mean for me to be a USC student, and that justified the price tag. It's really tough to justify paying that much for an online education.
I'm a business major and a design minor, and I was starting to get into my minor classes, which would have been in Roski and a lot of studios. And to me, the value of being in person outweighed the value of just taking classes to get a grade.
When you kind of just boil it down to pure education, right? Over some medium like Zoom, there really can't be too much of a difference. And the things that I'm learning are still the things that I'd be learning if I was going to USC. So right now it's still really in the air, and I'm prepared to kind of keep doing what I'm doing right now in the spring. And I don't really know when's the next time I'm gonna be back at USC, honestly.
Students from families who earn less than $75,000 a year are more than twice as likely to have canceled college plans.
The pandemic has brought uncertainty to some students who receive financial aid. For some students, living at home has changed their aid packages.
I noticed that my university grant, it got cut by almost $7,000. USC is offering I think it's the stay-at-home grant, and it's $4,000 per semester, and that's for everyone that's living at home. So thankfully, I was able to use that money to help pay for school, but it was still a big stress. I still have to take out loans and everything, and I will have to pay them later on. So it is going to be something that's going to be there for a long time.
Students who are in need of financial support can turn to the USC Student Basic Needs Emergency Relief Fund. To be eligible for these funds, students must be enrolled in at least half the minimum required units, have sudden financial distress due to unforeseen circumstances, have met with the Student Basic Needs team as well as the financial aid team, and they must be able to supply any additional information requested, such as bills, receipts, or other documents. Because of the pandemic, some students have lost work study.
I did have work study my first year at USC with the stay-at-home scholarship. Because I'm staying home, I got that scholarship, and work study was removed. I'm not on campus. I'm living back home with my parents and stuff, so I don't really need to pay for food and for other expenses. But I know that a lot of students were relying on their paychecks from work study to pay for their food or to pay for their bills. And last year I was one of those students.
Since the pandemic hit, students have been flooding the USC Career Center, looking for work study and internship opportunities to ease financial burden.
The students that were coming in to speak with us had a lot of concerns around identifying work study opportunities on campus. Students still have access to us as far as coming to drop-ins virtually, coming to 30-minute appointments. We're still hosting events. Employers are still definitely interested. I think now that fall is ending and we're going into spring, they do have a better idea of what their capacity is and the opportunities that they can offer to students now.
There are many resources at and around USC for students in need. Food insecurity among college students has increased this year because of the pandemic. A report from Real College found 3 in 5 students experienced basic needs insecurity. 44% of students at 2-year colleges and 38% at 4-year colleges were impacted by food insecurity.
I moved into an off-campus apartment in August. There was like a little bit of a gap between how much my financial aid was paying and how much rent actually costs. So then I applied for CalFresh. I got it fairly quickly, and now I can afford groceries. Like I still have to budget, but I don't have to budget to the point of having to like sacrifice something I need for something else that I need.
We actually know there's a huge problem of food insecurity on college campuses. So we started a program called the Mobile Food Pantry, where we're going to community colleges around LA. But during current times, we've converted all those to drive-through distributions and actually added more distributions that we're calling emergency distributions around the county because the need has just been so great. Go to our food locator. It's called lafoodbank.org/findfood. And you can type in your zip code and find an agency partner near you or one of our mobile or emergency distributions.
Another resource for students is the Trojan Shelter. It's a nonprofit organization that provides housing, food, and resources to USC students and Los Angeles residents in need.
Currently, we're housing three residents and 2 USC students who are acting as RAs. Our mission is to kind of create more of a community for these residents, provide them any support, whether it be food or housing, to make their college experience even easier.
While Trojan Food Pantry is now closed, it is referring students to the St. Francis Center in Los Angeles for food. CalFresh, Student Basic Needs, and USC Information Technology Services are open through Zoom appointments or email to help those in need.
The coronavirus pandemic is creating a housing crisis for college students unable to live on campus. Lawyers are working around the clock to make sure students know their rights and fight back against evictions. If you rent an apartment in LA and could not pay rent because of COVID-related reasons between March and August, you are prohibited from eviction until February 1st. Those who pay at least 25% of their rent from September through January will be protected through May. There are some legal resources that USC students can take advantage of to help with their leases. Some of these resources include the Eviction Defense Network, the Los Angeles City Rent Stabilization Department, the State of California's Rent Moratorium, and the USC Housing Law Clinic.
Coming from our three-way tie last week between Tessa, Emily, and Julia, we have a whole new set of contestants for our game of Hashtagged. Let's see how this week's contestants know what's trending on social media. Here are the rules. I'm going to tell you guys a hashtag that has been trending on Twitter, and you'll all have to guess how many people you think saw that hashtag on Twitter. So it's not necessarily how many people used it, but just how many people saw it. So you'll have about 20 seconds to guess, and then I'll call on you to say your answer out loud. Whoever is closest to that number without going over wins that round. And there are 3 rounds. The first hashtag is hashtag homelessness. And a little hint for this one, the reach is over 2 million.
Okay.
2.2.
Okay, Taylor's guess is 2.2. Andrew?
I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna say 2.3.
I wanted to go 3 for Jordan, but I guess 4 for Kobe, 2.4.
Okay, so the real reach is 2.7. So Emmanuel, you win this round. The second hashtag is hashtag housing. And a hint for this one is that the reach is over 100,000.
300,000.
Okay, Andrew, whenever you're ready.
Oh, I'm gonna say 200,000.
Okay.
I'm gonna just go 100,101, like just all ones.
Okay, so the correct answer is 124,542. So Emmanuel, you won that one too. So our third and last round is hashtag poverty, and a hint for this one is it's also over 2 million.
2.7 million.
Okay, Andrew?
3 million.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go Jordan, 2.3.
Okay, so the correct answer is 2,786,000. So Taylor, you won this round. Emmanuel wins with winning 2 rounds, Taylor in second. Sorry, Andrew. Thank you guys all for playing hashtag this week, and be sure to tune in to see it live next week for our next round. And the winner for this week is Emmanuel. A big shout out to Taylor and Andrew too for playing with us. Join us again next week for another round of hashtag.
Well, congratulations